Clayton, we'll start with the transfer portal today, and we are about a week in, and Michigan does have a commitment. We'll start there first. Donaven McCulley, the wide receiver formerly of Indiana, has joined the Michigan Wolverines in a recruitment that feels like it goes back to last winter. He was in the portal, then decided to go back to Indiana, gets hurt, seemingly maybe falls off the depth chart a little bit, and decides to opt out of the rest of the year and preserve his eligibility. But he has committed to Michigan. He is their first portal land of the cycle. 6'5", I think he's around 200 pounds, addresses the need for length and production at the wide receiver position. And, your early thoughts on the first edition of the portal era in 2025.
It's a really interesting one because he's been on Michigan's radar for a while because he entered the portal last year and then withdrew, was convinced by Curt Cignetti, Indiana's first-year head coach, to come back. He also brought in some receivers from James Madison and others, and it seemed like he got passed up on the depth chart before he got hurt and then decided to preserve that year of eligibility. But he was good on a bad team last year. They go 3-9, 48 catches, 644 yards, 6 touchdowns, led the team in all 3 categories. Don't know how good necessarily he is, but he's somebody with experience and certainly has more production than anyone on Michigan's roster at the position right now. So I think it's a start. I would like them to do more at wide receiver as well. They have some feelers out for some other guys, a couple offers out there. So we'll see what kind of comes of those, but I think a solid start. Have a message out to one of our guys down in Bloomington. They're a little busy this week though. They got a playoff game on Friday night in South Bend, but we'll get more insight from them on exactly what Donaven McCulley, what the situation was this year with him leaving the team, what he brings to the table, what his strengths are and all that. But, he's a guy that started at quarterback against Michigan back in 2021 and, which is incredible. Throws a touchdown pass in last year's game against Michigan on a trick play as a wide receiver, and now we'll be suiting up in a winged helmet. So quite the story with Donaven McCulley.
Yeah, it's quite the turn of events for him. Like I said, Michigan was interested in him last year. He decides to go back, has a little bit of experience. Is he the bridge quarterback? I say that jokingly. For me, I look at him, obviously, if you look at what they've lost versus what they get in McCulley, like, does McCulley, do you win the 1-for-1 swap of Tyler Morris and Donaven McCulley? I don't know. Maybe. Certainly different roles too. Yeah, it's completely different. I mean, Tyler Morris is a guy that is more of a Z/slot receiver. This is the guy, I think, if this works out for Michigan, I think maybe the highest range of outcomes is that he's similar to what Cornelius Johnson was, just in terms of a bigger bodied X receiver. It's got a little bit of a bigger catch radius. Really not much of a yak guy. So really just more of one of those move the chains type of possession receivers. But it's solid. They've been pretty transparent. It seems like going back to, even a couple weeks ago, we talked to Ron Bellamy. I think it was before the Northwestern game where they wanted size at the position enough to where they tried Mason Curtis at wide receiver last spring, or maybe it was last spring or during fall camp, whatever it was. They didn't have that this year. So to me, I think the best way to put it is the way you did. It's a good start. You'd like to see, and there's a lot of, I'll say big fish, but it's relative to what is available in the transfer portal. There's a lot of really good guys still out there. And I don't know, it's still unclear at this point, what Michigan, how do they feel about what they have, right? Was it a group this year that underperformed because of, the quarterback situation? Well, did they underperform because, the pass blocking wasn't great? I think they might even still be in the process of evaluating that themselves, but need some more high-end proven production. I think this is proven production and Big Ten experience. There's some more work to do out there.